I thought I'd try a bit of a different spin on it here today. I've been in the saddle and had a lot of questions asked myself, but I want to try a bit of a Giulio Sandrelli approach here, and I thought I'd see if I could get one of the Parnhams down here. They're a very powerful name in racing, and asked Neville to come down, but he was far too busy. Asked Chris to come along, told me to go away as well. Stevie's away on holiday, so I'm left with my favourite Parnham actually. I've got Brad here with us today.
Thanks for having me, mate.
We're probably not necessarily, what would I say, we don't necessarily catch up outside of racing. We know each other well in the Jockey's room, and I think we've got a pretty good mutual respect.
Yeah, we sort of talk quite a lot in the Jockey's room, and yeah, like I've always had a massive amount of respect for you and your riding and that, but yeah, it's probably good to sit one-on-one and have a bit more of a chat.
So, first of all, what I always want to know, your old man, I know back in the day he used to be a pretty hard man.
Yeah.
I reckon he's softened up these days. Has he ever actually given you a real good spray?
Oh, plenty, mate, plenty. I'd cop a spray at least once a day. Well, so Steve probably copped it the worst out of all of us, and then he probably softened a little bit when it got to me. But I think by the time Chris come along, he'd softened up a bit, and Chris might have copped a few sprays, but I don't think he experienced the full nifty spray. I think he realises now if he gives me a spray, I'll just, yeah, no worries, mate, just keep going.
He's given up on you.
A little bit, yeah. He likes to just get it out of his system, give a good spray, move on, and
I probably, as a rider, I think I prefer that approach. I'd rather them come up, and any trainer for that matter, come up, tell me what they think, clear the air, and then you get on with your job.
100% agree. There's nothing worse than come in from a ride. They might not be happy with you, they don't say much to you, and then you find out that they're potting you behind your back. You'd rather just hash it out and get it over and done with, I suppose.
Yeah, and your riding career itself, you're 34, aren't you?
34, yeah, nearly. I'm 35 this month, actually. I've had relatively good success for me. I couldn't match anything of your success, but yeah, look, I obviously had some ups and downs, a lot of injuries.
Just on the injury thing real quick, you had a really nasty injury not all that long ago.
Yeah.
And your riding career was looking a little bit touch and go for a while there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those things. I had a nasty fall, and I suppose at the time of the fall, I didn't quite realise how serious it was. I knew I had a broken neck, but I thought, we'll be back in 6 months, it'll be fine. But as time went on, it just wasn't quite healing, and it's given me a lot of trouble. So yeah, it looked like for a while there I might not be able to make it back to the saddle, which
that's scary.
Yeah.
Or
no, it was a bit like it's hard to sort of mentally get your head around an injury ending your career. I suppose I still haven't quite fully thought about the end of my career yet, but yeah, I suppose I want to end it on my terms when I want to end it. You don't want an injury to force you out, and it looked like it was going to be that way, and I sort of was starting to come to terms with it. I ended up getting a job. I was working for a housing company, but
how's Brad Parnham, the salesman, how did that go?
No,
they were selling like hotcakes, and you couldn't even sell one.
No, I couldn't sell one. Mate. I was useless. No, it's not my go. I give it a go though. I sort of had a last chance to really work hard at getting back into riding, and thankfully things went my way and got my neck back. I had an operation. And,
so what injury did you do? Could you refresh my memory? Because I thought you broke your back.
No, I broke my C5 in my neck once I had the operation. And
what operation did you have, mate?
I had a fusion between my C4 and C5. Managed to get it stable enough, and yeah, sort of.
Does it restrict your movement or anything, or can you?
A little bit. Yeah,
are you just used to it now?
I'm used to it now. Like I've been back about 4 years now, I think. And
done your wonders. All you're doing is looking straight ahead now, and you've had the best season. You had the best season ever. You're just coming off the back of your best ever season, I would say, off of amounts of wins. Maybe you had others that you liked better, but for me as a fellow rider, watching you this season, it's been good to see you ply your trade and do what you do. And I actually think I've seen another version of Brad Parnham come out this season. Much more cool, calm, collected. He's letting some of those red hot chances settle and still fly home.
No, mate. Yeah, it has been a good season for me. I was sort of pretty lucky. The season kicked off good. You weren't here. That certainly helped. So I was getting a few more opportunities at the start of the season, rode a few winners, and I was just able to sort of keep the ball rolling. And I was obviously leading the premiership for quite some time, and and then I heard you were coming back, but I got tricked a little bit. You tricked me because you said you were going back to Sydney. Well, I thought you were anyway, so I thought, oh, hang on, I'm a big chance here. I want to keep riding winners, but no, you tricked me. You hung around and you got me.
No, the Sydney weather didn't suit me, and it rained plenty, and they were good to me while I was there, but no place like home.
I couldn't agree more, mate. I spent time in Singapore, a little bit of time in Melbourne, but for me, I just love Perth. The weather's right. Good. Got a good lifestyle. Riding here's good, so.
I kind of forgot you'd done a stint in Singapore for a while there.
Yeah.
Pretty shocking to hear that they're packing up. They're closing.
Yeah, that's
down.
Yeah, it's a little sad, I suppose, because once upon a time they were a very big racing organisation, and I had a good time there. I didn't have much luck. I had a couple of falls, and my first ride there I had a fall, broke me collarbone, so it didn't start too well, but managed to get a few winners there. It was good. And
how do you enjoy the lifestyle how long were you there? 6 months?
It was good at the start, but after a while, I realised it wasn't for me. Sort of living in an apartment, it's like living in a box, and it's just, I don't know. It might be similar to Hong Kong. I'm not sure, but it's good for a bit, but I couldn't sustain it. I couldn't live there long term.
So there's a few Parnhams out there riding right now. You got Stephen, the oldest. Brad, you're the middle age, and then Chris.
Yeah.
Sibling rivalry at all? Are you happy for your brothers to ride winners? How does it go down when Stephen or Chris has necked one of your rides and you see it win?
No, mate. Look, people think that there's probably a big rivalry between us, but to be honest, I'm rapt for my brothers when they ride winners. When I started, my older brother was riding, so I've always been riding with a brother, and then to have a younger one come through, it's been quite a bit of fun. I think having Chris come through, probably helped me a little bit to start focusing a bit more on my game, because I was trying to help him at the same time, and it's been good to see his success. He's obviously won a couple of premierships. He's won a lot of big races too, so he's done well. It's good to see him. He's won a lot of Group 1s as well. I still haven't won one, so I'm probably the failure out of the three of us. But
no. The way you're going, I think a Group 1's not far away. Yeah. But how do you go when you roll up alongside them in the race? Do you just put a little bit more pressure on, keep them in a pocket, or are they just another rider out there? You don't even know that they're a brother or
they're just
a
another. To be honest, they're just another rider out there. People may find it hard to believe, there's always people on Twitter blowing up and saying all sorts of shit, but I'm that used to competing against my brothers and my friends, and even, I ride for a lot of different trainers. I don't just ride for Dad, so I'm used to competing against his horses too. So when I get out there, I'm riding for me, and I'm just focused on the horse I'm riding and what I can do to win.
Just do what you think you need to do to win the race.
After the race, obviously, if they've won a race I'm happy for them. But in the moment, you go to the line and then you worry about it after that.
You hit the line and you have a few moments, whether you've ridden it good or ridden it bad. A few things go through your mind, and then everything settles down, and we're all not too bad back in the room these days. But it wasn't always the case. I think there's a few fiery members. When I first started, there was a few more, and they've definitely some of the characters have probably flown away from the game a bit, but there've been some scuffles in the jocks room.
Yeah, there has in our time, I suppose. But that's quietened down quite a bit lately. I think everyone's a bit more respectful of each other these days. It's not quite that you don't get those old jockeys sort of blowing up trying to punch on like they used to. But,
that's right, yep.
Every now and then there'll be an odd argument. I've been involved in a few sprays in my time. Copped a few, but I've dished a few out as well. So
that's right, yeah. Is there one that sticks in your mind at all that you could give?
Dishing out sprays?
Well, maybe both. One that you've copped and one that you received. I remember David O'Hare was always the best at giving a spray, wasn't he?
He was the best.
He's right up there.
He gave me quite a few sprays when I was a young fella. As I started riding, I think I didn't know what I was doing, and I was getting in his way quite a bit, and he'd let me know about it. So I think one time he actually got in trouble with the stewards because he gave me a spray after the line as we were coming up the hill at Ascot there, and he was calling me for everything, and they overheard, and I tried tried to help him out in the room and say I didn't hear anything, but I think he was too close and they all heard it.
The whole grandstand heard it.
I think.
Well, I walked away from those situations with a message.
Yeah.
Generally, it was I did something silly or stupid, or so you let the yelling and the screaming go, and then you take the message out of it. You're all right.
Yeah, when someone gets in our way or does something silly, especially me, I don't blow up so much, but if someone does something annoying to me, I like to let them know about it.
Only one argument I can ever remember having with you was at Northam.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember
that.
it? Yeah,
I do remember that. I can't exactly remember what happened. I think you started blowing up at me. I don't know what I was doing, but you were blowing up at me about something, and I wasn't having it. And I told you that, no, get stuff. Oh, probably not in those nice words, but that was years ago too. That was.
We were alongside, and I think we were shifting wide. And
I think I was probably being my impatient self. I've learned to be a bit more patient now, but back in the day I probably was a bit more impatient. I think I might have shoved you out wide or something, and you
get out of the way.
Yeah, and you weren't too happy about it. And my horse was favourite, but I think it went terrible in the end. So
no one ever likes it. I know sometimes a funny feeling when you come around the corner and you feel like you're heading the wrong direction and they're skipping away. It's a really frustrating thing to be involved in, and I said my piece and you wouldn't back down, and you said yours, and it was...
That's it.
Yeah, so obviously we do get over it, but I suppose we still remember it, I guess. That was 10 years ago, and we still have a little chuckle about it. What about yourself, the Parnham legacy as a trainer?
Yeah.
How's that looking?
Oh, look, I've thought on and off about training, but, I see Dad and see how much stress he's under all the time, and I just think, I don't know if I could cop that. I do like training aspect of training, but I think dealing with staff and all that, there's a lot of headaches and owners. There's a lot of headaches that goes on with it. So
going on. Yeah, so I suppose you're in a good spot. You actually can see the inside operation of a big stable.
Yeah. And
the pitfalls of it, I suppose.
Yeah. Look. I suppose people don't see a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on, and Nifty, he's one stressed character. So I think us jockeys have it pretty easy. We get to ride heaps of horses. We probably, like you or me, we'll have 7, 8 rides in a meeting. If we ride a slow one, we don't have to ride it again if we don't want.
We've ruled you out just about as a trainer. Stevie, what do you think his prospects are?
Look, I don't know. I think Stevie's probably a bit too clever for training. He's just recently gone back and done a bit of study, so I don't know. I reckon probably not. He might want to, but Chris, maybe. He's the younger one. He's sort of taken a little bit more interest lately. He's spent a bit more time at the track and sort of a bit more time with Dad.
More than one day a week?
Well, for a little bit. I don't know. He might be back to one day a week, but he definitely spent about 3 months there where he was going every day and learning a few things. So maybe for him, but probably... I don't think he likes hard work either. So, it sounds all well and good, but once he starts doing it...
Push come to shove.
Yeah, so I don't know. When you think, could one of us take over Dad's training empire? Maybe, I don't know, but for now I think we're all pretty comfortable. So
pretty happy riding and saying, "Oh, Dad, that's your problem."
Yeah, he's probably wanting one of us to take over so he can rest up a bit. But
is he a control freak? Would you step in and then he'd be like, "No, you're doing it wrong"?
Well, probably, yeah. He is a bit of a control freak like that. There has been stages where I've taken interest in certain horses and tried to do a few things, but he's a bit like that. Even when you're riding for him, if you mention to him, "Oh, I think maybe we should do this with that or that," oh yeah, good on you. How many premierships you won, mate?
That's actually an achievement on your old man right now. He's gone leading trainer the season that just was. Quite a gap since his last one. I think that's not many people are able to climb back on top of the ladder after sort of being toppled in this industry, are they?
Yeah, it's been a big effort from him, really. He obviously dominated sort of that late 90s, early 2000s. He'd won 13 or 12 or 13 premierships in that space, and he was very dominant. And then obviously Adam came along, and then Grant as well, and he's always sort of hovered around that sort of third.
Yeah, he's never gone anywhere. He's always been in the picture, hasn't he?
Yeah, top 5. But he's definitely not the biggest stable anymore. And I probably never thought I'd see him win another premiership, but he had a really good season again, and
He's
it
been
was good to.
really consistent again. His horses have, when
Yeah.
they've hit form, they've held their form.
Yeah, that's right. He's managed to have horses win multiple races
and
throughout
multiple
this.
different horses as well. Like,
Yeah,
I think
sure.
that's the way they're able to win a premiership, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
just one or two horses propping your stable up. He's got several horses and
Yeah,
winning, and when they are winning, they're holding their form really well. Back at home, you've got a couple of daughters, and have they shown any interest in racing? And are you happy for them to pursue a path in racing?
Oh, look, if they wanted to, I wouldn't say no, but I've never really sort of pushed it onto them. I haven't tried to sort of encourage it. Just, I suppose, it probably sounds a little sexist saying it this way, but they're my girls, and I know the dangers of riding, and I probably don't want to see them in that scenario. I think if I had a boy, I'd be a little bit more different about it. I don't think they've ever actually. Well, they've sat on a horse, but I don't think they've ever actually learnt to ride like on their own. They've never ridden on their own, so
Yeah, okay. It's probably not the end of the world. It's a pretty expensive habit for them to pick up.
yeah, it is a little
the
bit.
pony club and.
What about
those.
what about your boy and girl? Are they taking an interest in riding?
So Jet and Aspen, they ride. Jet's sort of more begrudgingly. You have to make him ride his pony and tell him to go do it. Whereas Aspen's, she's got her heart set on being a jockey already.
Yeah, right.
And for me as a fellow rider, I've kind of look at it the other way. If they want to become jockeys, I'm going, oh great, I can.
Yeah.
That's something I can give you some pointers at or help you with.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to go be a mechanic, well, you no hope. You can't ask Dad for help there because I've got no hope of help giving any pointers. So I kind of go, I'll be happy for them to become jockeys if they wanted to.
Yeah.
As I said, Aspen at this early stage in her life, she's dead set she's going to be a jockey.
Yeah.
Whereas Jet's a little bit more on the fence, like, oh, I don't know, what do you think? Maybe.
Well, you probably wouldn't have any height issues coming out of you and Jess. You're both quite short, so I'd say weight wouldn't be.
Side.
Yeah, breeding would be there. They wouldn't have any weight issues.
We've got it quite good, really. Where else can you earn as well as we earn?
Yeah.
For essentially 5 minutes of whizzing around on a track. To earn the same amount of money with a shovel is a lot of work.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, certainly. I think I'd have a heart attack watching my kids ride, to be honest.
Yeah, I could imagine that it'd be a lot harder watching it on the screen, say they're having their first ride, than if you were out there watching it unfold.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I can't do this watch things on the screen. On the odd occasion where I have an interest in a horse that I'm not riding, for whatever reason, you're watching it, trying to figure out what's happening, trying to see what's happening, and it's. I think it's definitely harder on the other side of the screen. I would much rather be out there, involved in it, and knowing exactly what happened. Because as I said, the cameras and things, they can screw the angles where it looks one way, but we're coming in going, nah, that's not how it was at all.
Oh, I know that. I've found that in the steward's room quite a few times, to be honest. Yeah, great for Dad. He's climbed back on top. Obviously, you getting another premiership. Chris has won the last couple, and I mean, probably because you've been away a little bit too. But you obviously broken Paul Harvey's record now. So how many premierships is that for you?
I'll tell you the truth, but I'm not quite sure.
13.
12, I think I'm not sure if I was on 12 and I got 13, or I was on 13 and got 14. So I think I'm on 13.
Yeah, 13. That's a massive achievement, mate. So yeah, that's the record now. And how long do you reckon you've got left? How many more premierships are you going to hang around for and not let me win one?
Look, honestly, it's one of those things. So far, my riding career just recently has taken a few twists and turns that I never could have planned for. I never planned to actually be riding on grass. So to come away with the career that I've had so far is great. I always thought I'd never leave Perth, and I've sort of ducked out a few times. So right now I'm kind of in the mindset of never say never about anything. So what I'm doing, where I'm doing, I'm not entirely sure. My focus is here right now. And how long I ride for, well, I definitely want to be wrapped up in my 45th year, make that my swan song year.
How old are you now?
37.
37. Oh, okay, so it could be potentially another 8. Jeez, there'd be some record to chase down, won't it?
Well, injury free. I hope we got 8 more on the cards, but I don't know. Like I said, there's been a few twists and turns. I'm not taking anything for granted at the moment, and
we've also got some good young riders coming through too. And I suppose Chris and Portsy.
True, Luke Campbell, he's flying.
Mate, Luke is going well in Melbourne. I hear he might be coming back actually. So
it's hard, that lifestyle away, isn't it?
It is. Melbourne's relentless too. You've spent a bit of time there.
Melbourne, Sydney. We do our best to win every race, but we sort of know the value of a maiden to a Saturday, to a Group 1, whereas my time in Sydney and Melbourne felt like a maiden was a Group 1. It was the end of the world if you didn't win it, or if something went wrong. There was no relax. It's just a maiden. We'll get it next time.
Yeah.
It's you messed up. You're the worst person in the world. Like the stress levels are. I don't know how there's not walking heart attacks getting around in those trainers' ranks out there, and it rubs off on their riders. You know, a lot of their riders. Nobody's comfortable unless you're the top dog. Nobody is comfortable, and I'm surprised that some of the names I thought would be. They have success, don't get me wrong, but they're not as comfortable as I thought they would be. They've got to fight tooth and nail for all their rides, and we definitely take a more relaxed approach.
Yeah, we definitely. But everyone really, like the owners, trainers, riders, we all seem a little bit more relaxed around here. We know, like you say, you miss a maiden. There's always one next week as well for us. I
would have thought they'd be more relaxed. They got more Group 1s than you can poke a stick at.
Yeah.
We've got 3. We've got 3. You miss one of them, it nearly is the end of the world.
Yeah.
And you knew most of them anyway.
He's always picking off a couple, so it only leaves about one for the rest of us. So, what about Melbourne and Sydney? Do you still getting calls to go over there for big races and things like that?
A little bit when I first left. There was still some interest, and a couple of horses maybe I'd been associated with, and there were a few people were inquiring of what my movements were, and if I was going to come back or if I was going to hang around. There was a lot of positive stuff too. Which.
What about the spring? Will you look for anything there, or it's a bit hard if you're not there?
That's exactly what it is. If you're not there, it's just so hard. They sort of go, they can ring you for a lightweight ride. They've got so many lightweight riders already there that ride really well. They probably, unless you're there, they don't really need to give you a call to come across. So I wouldn't say no if an opportunity arose, but it's hard to see that eventuating when you're not amongst it and chasing it.
Chris, now your turn, mate.
Brad, come on.
He really did want to. He really did want to get Chris. Steve's away. He's on holidays.
Yeah, Steve's away on holidays.
So obviously out there, Pikey, you're everything you touch turns to gold. Everyone knows you as the wizard. You can do no wrong. Everyone on social media, back Pike, drink what you like. Pike in the last. Everyone knows you as a good guy. You never seem to. You've always stayed out of trouble. But is that always the case? I have heard a story about one time you're on the drink and might have found a little bit of trouble.
There was one time, I suppose. It never happened, but it could have happened over in Adelaide. I think it was after Adelaide Oaks one year. We went well, but we didn't win. And we're going out they were meant to be celebration or commiseration. Go out to have a restaurant, and I think it was a Japanese restaurant, and I don't really know what happened, but I decided to have a scotch this one night.
Hooked into the whiskey.
It's very rare for me, and I soon sort of found out why. So I had a few scotches, and then we went one place turned into another. I don't actually know where we ended up, but we were at nightclubs, and we ended up outside in an argument with a police officer.
Yeah.
And
Constable, wasn't it?
Yeah, Constable. Constable in orange jacket. Constable Orange, I was calling him.
Might have emphasised the first part of that.
Constable, yes, that's him. I have flashbacks and memories. I'm not sure what's true and what's not, but one thing led to another, and Constable Orange had me in an armbar on the ground, and I sobered up real quick at that point. Next thing you know, I woke up. It felt like I'd had a race fall, actually. I woke up, I look up, the roof was white, there's only lights. I'm like, I'm in a hospital, I know. And then I sat up and gone, oh no, this is worse, I'm not in hospital. Don't know how exactly I ended up there, but I'm pretty sure Constable Orange wasn't happy with me, and the bruises he left on my arm probably confirmed that.
Did you win or not?
No.
Have you won over there?
No, I was meant to ride Delicacy, but that's the year I got my dislocated shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've even won a race at Morfettville. I've had about 80 rides there, never won a race. I hate the place.
I've never ridden there.
I don't know why. It looks a nice track and everything, but I come off of the back of the 4 wins at Mornington, and I think it was Mornington and William Reid, and this is great. Went there and I nearly killed myself. I got odds on pop beat, and I'm like, this is a disaster.
So do you ever drink since then, or is that retired since then?
No, I've pretty much retired. Once in a blue moon, I'll get the scotch back out, but it's been put away since then. I just can't seem to handle it. Bit of a lightweight. Oh, well, Brad, we've delved into a few bits and pieces there and got a few insights, and thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
So how do you think I went today? How did things go there?
Oh, mate, yeah, I think it was good. We had a good chat. It was a little bit different in this environment, but it's been good.
That's right, I checked outside. David O'Hare's not there, so we're safe. Could you throw anyone up? I'm chasing some people we could maybe do this again with.
Yeah, look, I think maybe you get one of the young up-and-comers in Austin Gladdy. He's one of the young riders coming through.
Been flying lately, hasn't he?
Been flying, so it'd be good to get some insight on him.
What about the old man? You reckon you could work on him for me? He's softening. He's gone soft. You reckon we could armbar him?
He has gone soft. Well, I could ask, but...
Constable Orange showed me a trick or two on the armbar, and you reckon we could get him in an armbar and get him in the studio?
I reckon I could soften him enough for you, mate. Maybe even Paul or that Pont, but I don't know if he might not want to talk.
That's top shelf, Brad. I don't know if I'm ready for that pressure.
He might not want to talk to you after he broke his record.
He might not. No. Appreciate your time. Coming in, having a chat.
Thanks.
I'll see you out on the racecourse, and we'll do battle.
Yeah, all right, we'll do, mate. Maybe just try and go a little bit easy this season. And try not to smash us. All right.
See how it unfolds.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.